Hi everyone, my name is Brandon from Basic Wisdom. My company helps people pass difficult financial exams by breaking down those confusing and hard to understand concepts into digestible, easy, fun, and relatable pieces of information. Check out my website, which is basicwisdom.net, for more information on how I can help you pass on the first try. Now, on to today's lesson. Exemptions versus exclusions in less than 4 minutes. We have a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. For those of you who are studying for the Series 63, the Series 65, or the Series 66, you're learning a ton of information about when you have to register something and when you don't have to register something. And it's a big part of the exam. Two of the main reasons why you can avoid registration is either exemptions or exclusions. First, let's discuss what it means to register something and why it's important. Registration is a fancy way of saying we're gonna fill out a ton of paperwork on either who we are or what we're doing, and we're gonna send that over to a state administrator. And by doing that, it's gonna keep us somewhat accountable for what we do. It's all to prevent fraud in the financial markets. The state administrator's job is to prevent bad things from happening to small retail investors. So when we send a bunch of information to the estate administrator, it's basically like we're spilling our guts. We're telling them who we are and where they can find us in case anyone complains about us or anyone alleges that we're doing something that we shouldn't. Registration is a costly, it's a lengthy, it's a big pain in the butt for anyone to go through. If you're ever wondering whether or not it's important for there to be some kind of oversight in finance, just Google investor fraud and you'll find a ton of examples of bad things that have happened in this industry. So because of the history there, the state administrator typically wants almost everything, whether it's a security or a person working in finance, to register. And there are a few exceptions to that registration process. Two of the biggest ones are exemptions and exclusions. So let's go ahead and dive into the differences. If something is exempt, that's a fancy way of saying the rules and regulations should apply and you should have to register, but you don't because we said you don't have to in those same rules and regulations. Now, that might be a little confusing, but let me give you an example. A US government bond is a security and something that people make money on. It's something that some people lose money on. It's a security and it should have to register. But we wrote in those same rules and regulations that US government securities do not have to be registered. They're exempt from the process. No registration required. Let's go ahead and jump over to exclusions. If something is excluded, that means it doesn't have to register because it doesn't meet the definition of what the rules cover. Fixed annuities are excluded because they're not securities. All of these laws and regulations that you're reading about are all focused on securities. So if something is not a security, the rules don't apply and fixed annuities do not have to go through that registration process. So in conclusion, if something is exempt, that means the rules should apply and you should have to register, but we're specifically saying in those same sets of rules that you do not have to go through that process. You're exempt from that process. Versus excluded means the rules don't apply to you because you don't meet the definition of what the rules cover. And I know you're probably thinking, hey, there's a ton more there when it comes to what is excluded and what is exempt. And that's something I can help you out with. So once again, check out my website, which is basicwisdom.net. There are links there to all my social media, which includes Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Good luck with your studying, and I'll see you next time.